The text boxes in Sparkle are very easy to use. There's 3 ways to add them to a project. You just go by Inserts and Text Boxes, or you click the T on your toolbar, or you just press the T on your keyboard, and you're going to receive those boxes that you are able to move around and also resize. You can see on the right you have a little property panel that offers you the option to put a placeholder text into those boxes. And this placeholder text is the famous lorem ipsum. And as you can see, once I add this text, the text is matching the size of the boxes we previously just placed on our screen. So if you want more or less text, once you add a box, you just resize it the way you want it for your design. Even if it's a draft, even if you don't have all of your text ready for your website, you can always use this placeholder text, and you can have a preview and see what it does look like on your screen. After this, the properties change into the very basic property that all editor of text have. Even Sketch has the same, Xcode has the same, so I'm pretty sure you're not going to get lost between all of those options. Here is the shortcut with all of your favorite font. You can add them with the plus button. You have all the font from the computer and from the Sparkle app, or you also have the ability to add them if you download them from somewhere else. If you want to add one to this list, which is the favorite, you just click the plus button, and you're gonna see this one like Abel add on the top of our favorite list. And we can also remove them if we don't want. Very easy to turn into bold, italic, underline, the size, and the paragraph, of course, left, right, center, the different space between the lines, the HTML tag. Everything is basically a paragraph, because in HTML we don't talk about lines but paragraph. And once you have a title, you can switch to the HTML tag H1, and it goes all the way to H6. How to understand the HTML tag? It's H1 is the most important title of your website, and H6 is going to be the less important one. So if you have your main title on the top of your website, it's better to give it a H1 tag, and after the other title inside your project, you can give them H2, H3, or H4. To understand this, I'm going to take a look in the Dash application, which is an application that will group all the different documentation in the language you download. So if I type H1, it's going to give me the HTML5 documentation, and says the heading element implements 6 levels of document heading. The H1 is the most important, and the H6 is the least important. So if we want to understand by code, we have a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, so all of those H1, 2, 3, 4. And if we look in what it looks like on a browser, it's going to be this style. But of course, after you're free to change the style of any text. Okay, so, and the last option, of course, is the link option. You want to maybe build a menu on the top of your website, or even different links from your website to your App Store page, or you maybe want to provide an email like this one. On the bottom, there's always a contact us link on some website, and you just select your box and you check the link option. Of course, we don't want to link it to different pages of our project, but for now we only have one page. But once you're going to add different page on your project, you're going to be able to link to different pages. You can link to another website that is not from yours. You can also have the option to open the new website on a different tab, like that the user doesn't lose your page on the browser. Or like this one, in this example, we just want to add the email. And once the user is going to click this link, it's going to be sent automatically to the mail app, or also the mail page on the iOS iPhone. You can also, if we go into a box, we can change an entire box into a clickable link, or we can just select a piece of text. select the link option and do the same. And as you can see, there's only a portion of the text that was changed into a link. Now the last thing I want to talk about is those predefined style. So you can change this box into like a title style. It's going to change a predefined font and size and color. I recommend to remove all of those, as by default you have the body option, and if you click on every single box, it's always the body that is selected. If you add another box again, you're going to see that you have the style by default, which is body. And a mistake that is made quite often, or a mistake that I made once, is that I changed the title into a different font and a different size, like this one, let's say. And you can see that the body is, the type is still has body, but with a little modification. So we have the option to add a new one here, or if we stay with the same body, if you change the, let's say just the size, and you decide to build your own, the entire website, everything you build, and it takes you maybe like an hour or two, and you design everything, and at the end you say, hey, I want to apply the style for my title. And if once you do this, when you click, you're gonna see all of the boxes that were bodies, they're gonna change into your new style, and everything that you have done before is gonna be lost. So to be sure that nothing happened like that, because you cannot just go backward. Now it's lost, you have to change everything manually again. Now to be sure that nothing happened like that, I like to just get rid of all the default style from the Sparkle app, and I'm gonna work with my own. So it's very easy to use and to edit. Like this one, if I want to make my own title, I'm gonna call it main title. Now that I know that now if I want to go back to a body style, I'm just going to create a new body style, and I'm going to be sure that my entire web page is not going to be affected by this. Oh, same name. I'm going to call it main body. Okay, so now you just feel free to play around and change different settings. If you start to reduce some boxes like this, you're going to think that the text is just going to take this portion of the page, but if you double click, you're going to see that the text go all the way down here. So if you need to reduce the size of a text of a box, you better watch out that the text inside match the size of the box too. Because once you export the website, you're going to see all of your text on the top of each other. It's not going to look well.